Istanbul. That's, I think, the jewel in the crown. It's a unique city. First of all, it has a long history. It dates back almost 8,000 years. It is the only city, large metropole, which is located in two continents. So it straddles between two continents. Some people live in Asia, work in Europe. That's interesting. In the morning, you wake up in Asia, and you go to your office or workplace in Europe, and then come back to Asia. It is not anymore Turkey's capital city, political capital city, because our parliament and seat of the government is in Ankara, but it is the economic, financial, and cultural capital of Turkey. This is one of the centers of Turkey, Istanbul, Taksim and Beyoğlu. It's a beautiful, amazing, never sleeping city. And I'm proud that I'm born in Istanbul. I'm an Istanbulite, actually. So, Pamukkale, coming back. So the calcium-rich mineral springs, they form this spa area of the ancient times. Actually, there is also an ancient city called Hierapolis, very close. That's one of the popular destinations of tourists in Turkey. Ephesus. It is an old, actually, if I can make the analogy, it was the New York of the ancient times. It was the center of the world in the ancient times. Parts of Bible has been written either in Ephesus or letters by St. Paul and St. Peter directed to the peoples of Ephesus. So there are parts of Bible in connection with Ephesus. You see, this is a library, actually. The Celsius Library, which is named after the Roman Empire Celsius. So Celsius ordered a library to be made. It has a long avenue. This is part of the avenue. But it has also something to do with Christianity, because it's believed that Virgin Mary, after the crucifixion of Christ, St. John took Virgin Mary to Ephesus, and she passed away in Ephesus. So this is the shrine for Virgin Mary, and you see the Pope, the former Pope, Benedict XVI, visiting Virgin Mary Shrine. It's a beautiful place. Unfortunately, the city died not because of political things, but because of economic problems and illnesses. Because the city was on a seashore coast, it was a port, actually, but the river Meandros, I wonder if you know the name Meandros, which means going round and round. The river Meandros brought a lot of alluvions and blocked the passage of to the sea of the city. And because there was this marshland formed afterwards, there was malaria, people started dying, there was no commercial activity, so people of Ephesus became poorer, and they decided to migrate, and they went to another place. It's not in our pictures, but they went to Izmir and established the city of present-day Turkish Izmir. Turkey's capital city, Ankara. It's a modern city, however, it used to be one of the Silk Road cities, a rich merchant city. It's in the heart of Anatolia, and Atatürk's mausoleum is there. When Atatürk died, the Turkish nation built a mausoleum for him. As you know, mausoleum is one of the 7 wonders of the world. It was built in Turkey, in our Aegean Sea coast. There is a city called Halikarnassos, or modern-day Bodrum. The wife of Mausoleum, King Mausoleum, was so much in love with him, so she decided to build a huge and beautiful grave for him. and that became one of the seven wonders. So Atatürk has also a mausoleum. The ancient mausoleum doesn't exist anymore. It has been destroyed, and parts of it is right now in the British Museum in London. So let's continue. The Silk Road. Turkey is on the Silk Road, as you know. Actually, it is on the western end of the Silk Road, and Korea is on the eastern end of the Silk Road. So merchants used to bring goods to Turkey to be transported and sold in Europe, and some European goods went on as well towards Europe. So there was throughout millennia a lot of trade going between eastern part and western part of the Asian continent. Ankara, the capital city, was also one of the cities on the Silk Road. Coming to Turkey and Korea relations. This is a scene from 2002. Some of you might not remember because I see that my audience is very young. In 2002, when Turkey was playing against Korea, here in Seoul, many Koreans supported the Turkish team. Thank you very much. This is a very good indication of our good relations. Turkey's participation in the Korean War created a connection between Turkey and Korea, what the Koreans call the Blood Brotherhood. But it didn't stop there. We have a strong relationship between Korea. We have a strategic partnership which was signed in the year 2002. We have a free trade agreement, high-level coal tax. This is in Busan. This is the Korean War cemetery, United Nations cemetery, and you will see that there are lots of Turkish graves there. Actually, we are in ranking the third country who lost soldiers. We lost around 1,000 soldiers, but if you compare in the participation, the ratio of Turkish fallen soldiers are higher than any country. So, and the Turks are remembered for their bravery in the Korean War. And we are grateful that Koreans remember, but not only remember, but also respect the Turkish participation. This is also a high quality of the Korean nation. Because Turkey, I'm not shying away, has participated in many operations, United Nations operations, but we are not getting the same response like the Koreans do towards the Turks. And I think the Turks fought not in vain in Korea. We are very proud and pleased to see the Koreans are thriving right now. They have a high income, they have a beautiful country, have a good first-class democracy. So this war, the sacrifices didn't go in vain. Thank you also, Korea. Turkey and Korean economic relations. We have high trade, but still we didn't reach our potentials because Turkey has a strong, powerful economy. Korea has a powerful economy. There are some imbalances in exports and imports. I'll speak of that. I don't think the Korean investments in Turkey is enough. It must be increased. But Korea is participating in the infrastructure, some major infrastructure projects of Turkey. I talked about the bridge. The third bridge is under construction. Korean companies are taking place. But we have also a tunnel under the sea. So we have built already a tunnel for trains. Now we are building a highway tunnel. So it will be 3 lanes on each side, and some Korean companies are also taking part in this tunnel project. And the speed train, it's already finished almost. So Korean companies, I don't want to name the Korean companies, so, but you can see one of them is also already depicted. Some major Korean companies are taking part in Turkish investments. The trade volume, there's a disparity between our exports and Korean exports. The green ones are the Korean exports, blue ones Turkish exports. Sorry, the brown ones are the Korean exports, and the blue ones the Turkish export, and the green one is the volume. So you will see there's a discrepancy. So Korea must buy a little bit more from Turkey. This is the trade deficit again. But I think I must also give a better picture about it, because some of the things that we are importing from Korea are actually intermediary parts. So we are assembling, for instance, we are building cars in Turkey, Korean cars, and then we are exporting them to other markets, especially Europe. So some of these goods that we are imported from Korea actually are exported again as finished goods. Turkish foreign policy. Our motto, which our founder of the Republic has laid out, is peace at home and peace in the world. We want to be peaceful in our country. We don't want to fight each other, and we want peace in the world. Unfortunately, that second part is not coming true. We have a lot of crises around Turkey. We have a strong Turkish diaspora. We have a lot of population living outside Turkey. Around 5.5 million Turks live outside Turkey. Almost half of them in Germany. Quite a sizable population in America as well. So we have, like Korea, a lot of people who live outside Turkey. And they have good relations with Turkey. They visit Turkey. They speak Turkish language. They continue with the Turkish culture. They cook Turkish at their homes. And we are very proud that we have this population. Turkey's foreign policy dimensions are multifaceted, but NATO is important for Turkey. It's been member since 1952. It has the second largest army after America in NATO. We are a strong partner of America, and the Turkish foreign policy have traditionally good relations with Europe and Middle East, but now we have increasing our relations with the Asia-Pacific region, Africa and Latin America. So you will see a lot of Turkish embassies, very active embassies actually. I hope I'm active also here in Korea. Our strategic goal is to become a European Union member. Turkey has a customs union, that's very important. So since 1996, goods are imported and exported without any customs tax or very low taxes, and we are not strong. We were not strong like the Europeans at that time, 1996. Now, because of good economic trade and relations, we have become stronger ever since. And Turkey is an active member in the European Union structures. Turkey is also a transport route for energy lines. We are transporting gas and oil from producing to consumer countries. So the map talks for itself. I don't want to speak more about it. You can see it. So some of them have been already finished. Some of them are under construction. There's one missing actually in this map, and that's the Iraqi pipeline. So I think we have to make it take a better map. Situation in the Middle East is giving a lot of headaches for Turkey. We have a continuous crisis in Iraq and Syria for the last 2 decades. and we have a crisis situation in these countries, especially in Syria. We are hosting right now 1.5 or 1.6 million Syrians in Turkey who fled from onslaughts, assaults against them. We spent almost 4.5 million US dollars to come to their help for the remedial. Unfortunately, we didn't receive enough support from international community, and there is a risk of terrorism and radical fractions from this crisis situation. This is a problem. However, given all these problems in the Middle East, as I said, Turkey is growing. Turkey has a vision for the future. This is Vision 2023. That's the 100th anniversary of the Turkish Republic. The government has adopted these goals under the name of Vision 23. We want to have a GDP surpassing 2 trillion US dollars, income per capita over 25, which is 15,000, exports of 500 billion, and Istanbul to become one of the financial centers of the world. And this concludes my speech. I thank you very much for your attendance and listening to me. I'll be happy to answer your questions. Thank you. Questions?
Good afternoon. Thank you for your speech. I studied in New Zealand and Australia, and I learned a lot about Gallipoli, and that's very important history for them. It's a tragic one for them, but then it is really important. It's being commemorated every year, and I know that a lot of Australian and New Zealand tourists go to Gallipoli every year to commemorate the scene as well. So how, when they visit Turkey for the commemoration, how is it commemorated? I heard that it's being commemorated together at the same time. Yes. So I wonder how Turkish people remember the battle and how it's being commemorated together with the Australians and New Zealanders.
Thank you. I think it's a very good question. As you said, it's a tragic event actually, because we lost also a lot of young and highly educated people in the Gallipoli War. Actually, our losses are far bigger than the Australian and New Zealand losses. We were defending our country at that time, and Australians and New Zealanders were fighting for the Allied powers of the time. Actually, it was Britain and France, and the instigator of the war was Winston Churchill, none other than Winston Churchill. He was the war minister of the time of the British Empire. They wanted to open a passage towards the Russian Empire, because the Russian Empire had difficulties fighting the Germans at that time, and they wanted to invade the sea passage routes. That's why they wanted to land in Gallipoli to occupy the Strait of Dardanelles, and then afterwards go to Istanbul and occupy the Bosphorus Strait, so that there would be a passage. And we denied the invaders of the time. We fought very gallantly, and they fought gallantly actually. They were fighting, and the situation was very dire. The trenches were very close, and every day masses of people were dying. But when the fighting stopped, we also respected their death, and we created cemeteries for the Australians and New Zealanders. Actually, we named one cove of the area after the invading Australians and New Zealanders, which we still call it the Anzac Cove. As you know, Atatürk, he didn't have the name of Atatürk at that time because that's a given name by the parliament, which means the father of the Turks. His name was Mustafa Kemal, first names. So Mustafa Kemal was a young officer fighting against them. But when he became the president of Turkey, in his early days, he visited the war sites and he made a speech which is very famous by Australians and New Zealanders. He said, I cannot word by word memorize it, but I will just relay what he said. He said, "O mothers of Australians and New Zealander soldiers who fought and died here, please wipe away your tears, because your fallen sons have become our sons as well. They are embracing each other. The fallen Mehmets and the fallen Johnnies are embracing each other, and they are lying in the bosom of Turkey, so they've become our sons." And this created a very good resonance in both countries. They are coming in their masses every year. It's in March. So we will commemorate together with Australians and New Zealanders, because this is a war that in the first time in the history of Australians and New Zealanders, they shed their blood for their country, and they came out of their age. So it is a shaping of a country. In Turkey we say that a country cannot be a country, a land cannot be a land without being watered by the bloods of their martyrs. So when you shed your blood, you become a country, and they became a country. We are very proud that this happened in Turkey. We understood each other. We were adversaries of the time, but we are friends of the time. So maybe it can also relate to others as well. Those who are fighting against each other, there might be difficulties in the past, but let's forget past difficulties. Let's shake hands, let's embrace, and let's look to the future, because this is our duty for the next generations. We cannot have new generations hating each other for eternity. That's not a good thing. Thank you.